Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This week is week 10 of WWC. It's me versus Huff. Now Huff is second in his conference and I'm second in mine. So this is a pretty big battle for seeding for both of us. And you can see the teams that we're bringing. And now on team preview I look and I see, hey, Crest looks fairly well here. About the only thing I worry about is that Gothitelle. But I'm running sub Toxic to sort of deal with that, hoping he's not a rest set. But trapping is allowed, so I know he's going to be running trapping. And then I look and I'm like, there's not too much that can really hit my Crest hard. So starting off, I do lead the Crest, as he leads Snorlax. Now this turn is so pivotal to the whole match. I lead off with the Toxic on the Snorlax, and he goes for the Body Slam and gets the Para. So turn 1, we're both statused. He's Toxic, I'm Para'd. And seeing this, he goes and switches out into Heliolisk. And I, of course, don't move because of the Para. And then he just goes for the Volt Switch. And so my worry was he might be a Specs Heliolisk. But with this damage I see, he's not. He doesn't have any boosting item on him. And then he goes out into Cobalion. And of course I get paralyzed again. And the Cobalion just goes for Rocks, as I go for the Psychic to get some damage on this since I can't Toxic it. Now, if we remember right, my set is Toxic, Psychic, Sub, and Moonlight. And so he goes for the Iron Head, and of course I get parried again. Next turn he goes for Iron Head again. And guess what? I get flinched. Next move, he goes for Iron Head again. And guess what? Again, I get flinched. I'm getting a little frustrated here because it's 8 turns in and I've moved twice. And there's the third one. So this goes on for a while of me just getting paralyzed, doing a little damage here and there, but a lot of paralysis and lots of flinches. And here I see he's not doing a lot of damage. 17%, 16, 15. I realize, hey, he can't break a sub with a single hit. And so, once I finally am able to get through, I decide to go for the sub, which I think will be next turn. And he goes for it, and I get the sub up, and I'm like, yes, this will make it so I can move a little bit more often. And with my Psychic doing upper 20% to 30, I know he won't be on the field long. I'm like, if I can get through this with the sub up, it'll make my life a lot easier. So I go for sub again, and I'm like, okay, I can knock him out now. But I got paralyzed. So I know he's going to break the sub this turn. And I go sub again. Oh, sorry. Heal and then sub again. Now thinking, hey, he can't break my sub, I go to knock him out. And he actually gets the crit. And I break through the para and take him out. So I'm like, dang it, that sucks. There's no sub, but I'll have to work through it. And he brings in Gothitelle. And here I am locked in because he does have Shadow Tag. And he shows that he has Signal Beam. And I look at the calcs, and based on what I'm seeing, his Signal Beam breaks my sub almost always. There's a couple rolls where it doesn't, so I don't see sub as a big play against his Gothitelle. I know I have to get this thing poisoned and on a timer. So I tried to toxic him, and of course I get parried. He goes for signal again, and I break through and heal up. Now, he wouldn't have been able to knock me out after the leftovers damage unless he crit. So that was good to know. So I get the toxic off to start whittling him down. And we do this dance for a while. It's just back and forth signal beams, me trying to stay healthy. And there I see one of the rolls where it wouldn't have broken my sub. There weren't many, and so I didn't see it worthwhile to do. And he gets the crit. I'm like, I was very happy I decided to moonlight there. I see Toxic is starting to roll onto him. I'm like, please tell me he's not a sleep set. And he goes, he has 8%, and I'm like, it's his last turn. And he shows that he doesn't have rest. I was so happy to see that. So there's 2 of his mons down. Next thing that he brings in is Groudon. And this was the biggest worry for me. And so I was hoping to get it toxic, and of course I got paralyzed again. So he switches out into Heliolisk. And now earlier I saw it wasn't Specs, so I wasn't too worried in the sun with it having solar power, because it can never 2-ko me, but I found out even if it was Specs, it almost never 2-ko'd me. He'd have to have like 2 max rolls in a row, and that was with Thunderbolt and not Hyper Voice. Now here I go for Moonlight, and because it's in the sun, it actually heals 75% instead of the 50%. And down goes his Heliolisk to the Toxic. Now here, Cress is being so clutch. I didn't expect it to do this much, but I knew it was a big problem for his team once I got rid of Gothitelle and Snorlax. But I've been surprised so far to see Snorlax hasn't been in much. So he goes for the Power Whip. I see it. It's a physical Venusaur. And I really prepped for a special. So I saw that and I was like, ooh, I really like that. And away will go Sun. And at this point, I have no Moonlights left. So Cress's only form of healing is its leftovers. So I know I have to play really smart because I need some differential from this match because of playoff positioning. So I have to start playing pretty conservatively. And I got paralyzed again. Now, this paralysis so far has been clutch because his goal to beat Cress was to toxic it and let it wear down through toxic. And so the fact that I'm paralyzed and can't be toxic has made it so it can just sit here and never die. So here I'm trying to wear down the Snorlax because this was the biggest worry to my team. I knew it wouldn't be easy to break. And really my best shot at breaking it was Hoopa, who against the rest of the team didn't have that great of a matchup. And I see he has Pursuit. He's not Choice Banded or anything, but he had a lot of attack on that Snorlax. And Pursuit's the best thing for him to go for, but he can't break my sub, so I see it as a winning endeavor, and I find out he has a berry. So I'm like, I need to get some damage on that so that he's consistently having to eat his berry with the toxic damage. And he can't really keep one. Here I'm just trying to save some PP for the other mons because I'm getting kind of low at this point. We're 39 turns in. And here he just goes for pursuit to help break the sub a little bit, and he goes down to the toxic. So he has 2 mons left, and I'm just grinning at this point. I'm like, I have a legit shot at getting the 6-0. Which I needed so bad. Because when I took over the team, it was 0-1 with a 6-0 loss. And so I really needed the differential to help make up for that. Because my differential wasn't so great going into this match. So I go into Torkoal here. Just trying to figure out what kind of Groudon this was. Because I knew it couldn't go for Precipice Blades with me being Levitate on Crest. And I was like, I don't know what it is. I imagined the fire move was coming out. So I went to Torkoal to sponge that. And then I wanted to check and see if he had Precipice Blades. So I went back into Crest as he does show that he has it. But I know with my Crest, no real moves do a lot besides Fire Punch. And so he goes with the middle play and goes Rock Slide. Knowing that I could go Torkoal again, that would hit Torkoal hard. And it gives him the flinch chance, which he did get. And he got another crit. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I get the leftovers healing. And this is where I have to make a decision. Because as I saw earlier with this Venusaur set, it can KO me from this range. So I have to think, what do I need to do to help preserve the 6-0? So I built Roselia for Venusaur. And so I go Roselia. Now, I for some reason forgot it was a physical Venusaur. My Roselia was an Assault Vest to eat any special hits from this, and Oko back with HP Fire. But it was physical, so I'm like, oh, here, let me get some good damage on this. As he shows he's Z Tectonic Rage, so Z Earthquake. I was like, oh, dang, I wasn't expecting that. And I just fire off the Sludge Bomb. I don't know why I went Sludge Bomb over HP Fire, but I did. And now knowing he probably goes for some move, because anything would have OHKO'd Roselia from that range. So I just go Reshiram to try to finish him off, because I did the calcs and Earthquake didn't KO. So I go Reshiram just to pick up that last KO. Reshiram was the league leader in KOs heading into this week, and so I didn't want it to fall too far behind. After this match, it sits in about 3rd, since it only picked up the 1 KO, and I think Mewtwo Y picked up 4 or 5, and another Mon got quite a few. But I was overall really happy with this result, because it keeps me 2nd in the division, and it really saved my differential issue. Now, I felt bad for Huff because that para made it so he could not break Crest. He said his whole plan for that game was to poison Crest and let the toxic wear it down to where it couldn't be that wall that it ended up being because of the paralysis. And so, hey, it was an exciting match for me. It really helped out. And we hope to see you guys around for our next one as we go into week 11, where I'll be playing Lord Exy. And hopefully I can pick up another win there. Alright, we'll see you next time.